What to know about R. Kelly's new Chicago trial? What to know about R. Kelly's new Chicago trial? So his trial starts. This is a Chicago trial. This deals with pornography, child pornography. Okay, child pornography. It's like 5 or 6 counts of child pornography, and Kelly faces 6 child pornography counts and 5 counts of enticing a minor to engage in criminal sexual activity. Now he's already in prison, and he ain't going nowhere. I know he wishes he can fly. He gonna die in prison probably. Okay, that's just the way it is. And the only reason why R. Kelly, now yes, he was a musical genius, but he's a pervert also. Okay, and we just got to deal with that. Yes, he was sexually abused. Yes, he needs therapy. He needs mental health and all. He needs all that, and he still belongs in prison. And then also the people who were enablers around him and did his bidding, they belong in prison also. He didn't do all that by himself. That's true. What to know about R. Kelly's new Chicago trial? This is from the Chicago Sun-Times, April 12, 2022. We skip down here. What are the charges against R. Kelly? R. Kelly faces 6 child pornography counts and 5 counts of enticing a minor to engage in criminal sexual activity. He also faces 2 conspiracy counts, one to receive child pornography and the other to obstruct justice. Okay. Now, how is this trial connected to the one in 2008? How is this trial connected to the one in 2008? Okay. And if we back up here, singer R. Kelly is back in a Chicago courtroom this month. But a lot has changed since the R&B star's 2008 trial in Cook County's criminal courthouse, especially in the wake of his 2021 conviction in New York. So when we look at these charges now, jury selection begins Monday, August 15th, 2022 in the Chicago trial. The alleged obstruction of justice conspiracy revolves around R. Kelly's 2008 state court trial in Cook County, 2008 state court trial in Cook County, where he was found not guilty. That case began in 2002 after a videotape allegedly depicting R. Kelly performing sex acts with a minor was sent anonymously to the Chicago Sun-Times. Okay. Jurors found R. Kelly not guilty, and later they said they did so because the alleged victim did not testify. Now, here's the important part here. One of the important parts. Federal prosecutors now say R. Kelly and others pressured, intimidated, and paid off witnesses in the case. They're going after everybody. Federal prosecutors now say that R. Kelly and others in the 2008 pornography case that he was found not guilty in because the victim did not testify. Federal prosecutors now say R. Kelly and others intimidated and paid off witnesses in that case, including the alleged victim and members of her family. They need to go after everybody. They need to go after everybody. This time around, the alleged victim from the 2008 trial is expected to take the witness stand. Go after everybody. His ass needs to stay in prison. Now, why is R. Kelly being tried again after the Brooklyn conviction? Okay? Because, first of all, the victims deserve justice for what was done to them. The victims deserve justice for what was done to them. It may seem like piling on for federal prosecutors. No, it's not. To take R. Kelly to trial again, all over again, 6 weeks after a judge in New York sentenced him to 30 years in prison. He had it coming. He had it coming. But legal experts say this trial could vindicate further victims. Legal experts say this trial could vindicate further victims. Now, let's be clear. And if you watch Surviving R. Kelly, and I watched the first Surviving R. Kelly and the second one, the only reason, and I want people to understand this, because this deals with not protecting African-American women and girls. And African-American women and girls, you know, Malcolm X used to say the most disrespected woman in America is the black woman. Okay. This deals with adultification bias that we talked about here on the show before. This is why I came out so strongly against the song WAP by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, financed by a white corporation called Atlantic Records. So the only reason why R. Kelly was able to get away so long with what he did was because his victims were largely African-American women and girls. And largely when African-American women and girls are abused, molested, raped, physically abused, verbally abused, oftentimes people don't care. Now, if R. Kelly was outside of a high school in Chicago talking to 15, 16, 17-year-old white girls after school, we all know that behavior would have been put to a stop 30 years ago. We know that behavior would have been put to a stop 30 years ago. And it may have been put to a permanent stop. We know that the white parents, the white administrators at that school, the principals, the police, who's this Negro out here talking to these white girls after school, day after day? They would have put that would have been stopped 30 years ago. The fact that we didn't stop it 30 years ago is problematic, and that's on us. We should have stopped that. If we value black girls and black women, we should have stopped that 30 years ago. All right, now, let's continue. So, how is, and I don't mean anything violently. I'm saying we should have stopped that 30 years ago. Call the police, stop it. Hey, what the hell are you doing out here? Get away from here. Don't come back here anymore. I'm not talking about anything violently. But if those had been white girls, see, you only protect what you respect. You only protect what you respect. If he was doing that to 15, 16, 17-year-old white girls, that behavior would have been put to a stop 30. That behavior would have been stopped 30 years ago, period. All right, let's go back to this article. Then I have to get out of here. But legal experts say the trial could vindicate further victims. And the failed attempt to hold R. Kelly accountable in 2008, because he should have been convicted in 2008. Not only that, but R. Kelly has filed an appeal in the New York case. You can file your appeal. You ain't going anywhere. In this latest trial, if this latest trial ends in a guilty verdict, it could help R. Kelly behind bars, even if his earlier conviction, it can keep R. Kelly behind bars, even if his earlier conviction is overturned. Now, who else is going to trial along with R. Kelly? Because all the enablers belong in prison also. It ain't just R. Kelly. He's the ringleader. He's the head of the criminal enterprise. But all the enablers belong in prison. Let's be clear. And if we're not willing to hold people accountable who sexually abuse black girls and women, then what the hell are we doing? If we don't think enough of African-American girls and women to protect them against sexual predators, then what does that say about us? Also charged in this case are two of R. Kelly's former employees, Darrell Mcdavid and Milton June Brown. Darrell Mcdavid is charged with R. Kelly in the obstruction of justice conspiracy, in the obstruction of justice conspiracy, and 2 child pornography counts. And McDavid and Brown are charged with R. Kelly and the child pornography conspiracy. Hold all of them accountable. It's not just R. Kelly. He's the ringleader. Hold all of them accountable. All those involved in aiding in the sexual abuse of these women and girls, all of them belong in prison. Now, R. Kelly's lead attorney this time around will be Jennifer Bongine, an aggressive lawyer with Chicago roots, whose recognition soared after she helped free actor Bill Cosby from prison. R. Kelly's not gonna go anywhere. He can believe he can fly, but his ass gonna hit the ceiling if he tries to fly away. She is a veteran of Chicago courts and is most well known here for her work in wrongful conviction cases. Now, how long will R. Kelly's trial last? U.S. District Judge Harry Lineweber, who is presiding over the trial, told attorneys he wants it done in 4 weeks, quote unquote, come hell or high water. Trial courtroom time is at a premium at the Dirksen Federal Courthouse, which is still operating under COVID-19 protocols. So this slows down the pace of the cases. COVID-19 protocols. A lot of courthouses have a backlog of cases, okay, because of COVID-19. If convicted on all counts, mandatory minimums would require a sentence of at least 55 years for R. Kelly. Okay, so, okay, yep, it is what it is. Gotta go. So read this article here from the Chicago Sun-Times. What to know about R. Kelly's new Chicago trial. What to know about R. Kelly's new Chicago trial. And, we've talked about adultification bias. We're going to wrap up on this. We talk about adultification bias here on this show before. I deal with this when I talk about the song WAP and other sexually explicit music. It wasn't just WAP. Now that one got the most attention. That one, I mean, it got 26 million views in 24 hours on Cardi B's YouTube channel alone. And then it got like 60 million views over that weekend, that first weekend when it came out on Cardi B's YouTube channel alone. Okay, this article is from theroot.com. And name of this article, Surprising No One, Georgetown Study Confirms Previous Findings on Adultification Bias by Listening to Black Women and Girls. Adultification Bias by Listening to Black Women and Girls. In 2017, the Georgetown Law Center on Poverty and Inequalities Initiative on Gender, Justice, and Opportunity released Girlhood Interrupted, the Erasure of Black Girls' Childhood. This study called Girlhood Interrupted, the Erasure of Black Girls' Childhood, providing concrete data that adults typically perceive Black girls, particularly those aged 5 to 14, to be more adult-like and less innocent, than their white peers. Via responses garnered from a series of focus groups, the research team proved a type of gendered racial bias unique to Black girls. Previous research had already proven the same bias against Black boys. So this deals with how African-American girls are perceived to be less innocent. This is the one I want right here. Black girls are viewed as less innocent and more adult-like than white girls. This study, this is from July 28, 2017. This is the article I was looking for. The songs like WAP, songs like from Mulatto or Lotto, Very Freaky Girl, songs from Nicki Minaj, these hypersexualized lyrics, songs from DaBaby and others, they contribute to an unsafe environment for African-American girls and women. And we know African-American girls and women are more likely to be victims of abduction and forced into human trafficking also. Black girls are viewed as less innocent and more adult-like than their white girls. This is according to this study and other studies like this. A study, so this article is from June 28, 2017. A study released Tuesday reveals what many of us already know. Black girls in the age range of 5 to 14 are viewed as less innocent than their white counterparts. Black girls in the age range of 5 to 14 are viewed as less innocent than their white counterparts, revealing that race is often a factor in how a child's actions are perceived. Okay. And this affects African-American girls and boys in school also. Girlhood Interrupted, the Erasure of Black Girls' Childhood, was released by Georgetown Law Center on Poverty and Equality. And it builds on a similar study conducted by Professor Philip Atiba Goff, who you've seen numerous times on MSNBC, Philip Atiba Goff, in 2014, that found that Black boys as early as age 10 are more likely than white boys to be misperceived as older, like the name will come to me in just a minute. Perceived as older, to be viewed as guilty of suspected crimes, and to face police violence if accused of a crime. And Dr. Philip Atiba Goff, he has his research at APA.org, American Psychological Association's website. Okay. For a reference, Tamir Rice, that's what I was thinking of. For a reference point, think of 12-year-old Tamir Rice, because the prosecutor who failed to prosecute the police officer who shot and killed Tamir Rice, the prosecutor, the old white prosecutor said Tamir Rice looked like he was 20 years old. He was 12. The old white prosecutor said Tamir Rice looked like he was 20 years old. He was 12 years old. The study found that survey participants believe that Black girls need less nurturing, need less protection, need to be supported and comforted less, are more independent, know more about adult topics, and more about sex. Where the hell you think they get ideas from like that, stereotypes from like that? From the media. This is a holdover from slavery, when African-American girls were made to be breeders and raped and made to be breeders. And then that same mentality continues after slavery ends. So when Atlantic Records finances songs like WAP and they use African-American women, and the bass line repeats the phrase, "There's some whores in this house," about 79 times in the song. And when you watch the video, all the women in the house are of African descent, except for Kylie Jenner. And there was a group of white people who created an online petition to have Kylie Jenner digitally removed from the video, because Kylie Jenner's a billionaire. They said Kylie Jenner doesn't belong in the video. The reason why they were saying that is because you only protect what you respect. They're trying to rescue white women. Now, now pay attention to what happened here. Why the hell isn't this showing up? Hold on. We want this article here. Pay attention to what happened here. Okay, this article. Yeah, there it is. No, we want this other article right here. This is the one I want. I've got two up, but by the root. This is the one I'm talking about right here. Black girls are viewed as less innocent and more adult-like than white girls. Black girls are viewed as less innocent and more adult-like than white girls, study shows. By Monique Judge, June 28th, 2017, from theroot.com. This is the article that we should be highlighting, okay? Let me get rid of these dumbass trolls. Okay, block these trolls on YouTube. All right. A study released Tuesday reveals that what many of us already know, Black girls in the age range of 5 to 14 are viewed as less innocent than their white counterparts, revealing that race is often a factor in how a child's actions are perceived. This deals with racism. Racism is a system of advantage and privilege distributed based upon race, coming out of the ideology of European white supremacy for the purpose of preserving genetic white survival on the planet that's less than 10% European. Okay, so we're dealing with racism. We're dealing with a power structure. We're not just dealing with a stratification of humanity based upon characteristics and phenotypes and skin complexion. We're dealing with racism. Racism is a system of advantage and privilege distributed based upon race. The study Girlhood Interrupted, the Erasure of Black Girls' Childhood was released by the Georgetown Law Center on Poverty and Equality, and it builds on a similar study conducted by Professor Philip Atiba Goff, who you see often many times on MSNBC, in 2014. His study found that Black boys as early as age 10 are more likely than white boys to be misperceived as older, to be viewed as guilty of suspected crimes, and to face police violence if accused of a crime. And so we look at Tamir Rice, who was 12 years old. The prosecutor said Tamir Rice looked like he was 20. Who got shot and killed by the officer in the police car, hadn't even come to a complete stop before the officer shot him. Attorney Benjamin Crump timed it. It was about 1.8 seconds of the car arriving on the scene. They shot Tamir Rice. The study found that survey participants believe that Black girls need less nurturing. Can we blow this up? Let's blow this up. This is important. This deals with protecting African-American girls and women. You only protect what you respect. This is what white people did when they had an online petition to have Kylie Jenner digitally removed from the music video WAP. They didn't care about the Negroes in there. You Negroes can still do that because that's what we expect from you. Because you were slave breeders and wet nurses during slavery. That's what we expect from you. This white woman, oh, we got to rescue her. You Negroes can still be whores in the house. We got to protect women. You got to, sister, we got to get you out of here. The study found that survey participants believe that Black girls need less nurturing, need less protection. Protect the white woman, let the Negro stay in the whorehouse. The song says, repeats about 79 times, there's some whores in his house. You can let the Negro stay in the whorehouse, get the white woman out. Need to be supported and comforted less, are more independent, know more about adult topics, and know more about sex. These are the stereotypes that are projected onto African-American girls that are associated with African-American women that put African-American girls in danger and make them greater targets by perverts like R. Kelly for sexual abuse, exploitation, physical abuse, and human trafficking. These results have far-reaching implications and can be a contributing factor to the disproportionate rates of punitive treatment in the education and juvenile justice systems of Black girls. As an example, in the education system, Black girls may receive harsher punishment by educators and school resource officers, okay, SROs, school resource officers, who are police officers in the schools, and being perceived as not needing nurturing. Protection and support means that Black girls may lose out on leadership and mentorship opportunities in school. Okay, so read the rest of this here. This is deep. All this is connected. We're dealing with a system. All this is connected. So you can't separate R. Kelly from this right here. Because the only reason why he was able to get away with this for so long is many people don't care when black women and black girls are sexually abused. Once again, if he had been outside of a high school talking to 15, 16, 17-year-old white girls, that behavior would have been stopped 30 years ago. And then you look at the study from the American Psychological Association from Philip Atiba Goff dealing with black boys viewed as older. This one right here. Black boys viewed as older, less innocent than whites, research shows. Now, this is at the American Psychological Association's website, apa.org. This is research from Dr. Philip Atiba Goff. This is from 2014, apa.org. Black boys viewed as older, less innocent than whites, research finds. Police are likelier to use force against black children when officers dehumanize blacks, study says. Black boys as young as 10 years old may not be viewed. Let's blow this up. Black boys as young as 10 years old may not be viewed in the same light of child innocence as their white peers, but instead are more likely to be mistaken as older, like Tamir Rice, or Emmett Till for that matter, be perceived as guilty and face police violence if accused of a crime, according to new research published by the American Psychological Association. Quote, children in most societies are considered to be in a distinct group with characteristics such as innocence and the need for protection. Characteristics such as innocence and the need for protection. Our research found that black boys can be seen as responsible for their actions at an age when white boys still benefit from the assumption that children are essentially innocent, said author Philip Atiba Goff, PhD. This is dealing with racism being a system of advantage and privileges. The advantages go to the innocence and protection for white boys, and the penalty for being black and appearing to be guilty and appearing to be older for African-American boys, as well as girls. The study was published online in APA's Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. All right, look, that's going to do it for us. We got to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Right now, it's correct wrong behaviors, not over till we win. Wakanda forever. If you'd like to stop for information, please support the African History Network, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN Show. The information is at our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. Register for our online classes. My DVD lectures and digital downloads are at our website as well. Right now, it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you next time. Peace.
The work that I do is larger than the fashion industry. It's larger than the art world. And I believe that I was born to bring newness into this world. I'm Kaima McIntyre. I'm 24 years old and I'm an artist. I create everything from paintings to jewelry design, metaphysical jewelry to be specific, and fashion design. The only reason why my prom dress went viral is because people needed it. Within a few days of going viral, Notori Naughton reached out to me and she's like, I saw your dress, can you make me a dress? I was equally as shocked to be asked by a celebrity to design their dress at the age of 17. That's just one person, and the list just continues to go on to Janet Jackson, to Tyra Banks. It really hits home. That means that the discussion is happening on the grounds in real time.
What does self-care mean to you? To us, it's an opportunity to reconnect with nature. a chance to create something remarkable. At Sage and Elm Apothecary, our handcrafted skincare and household products immerse you in Earth's sweetest nectar, connecting you to nature in a way you never imagined. See for yourself and visit us at sageandelmapothecary.com.
iRedify is a Black-owned digital platform that showcases Black and Brown cultures and people. The books on the platform are written by African-American authors, Afro-Caribbean authors, African authors, and so much more. Kids 14 and under can read ebooks, listen to audiobooks, and complete learning activities. Kids can even write in the books digitally. Get unlimited access to everything on the platform for only $8.99 a month at iRedify.com. Sign up for your membership today. Hotep, everybody. Hey, this is Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecturer, writer, and historian. And I want to give a special shout out to everybody who has attended the 11th annual Liberated Minds Black Homeschool and Education Expo. I just want to take a few minutes, and we had a great presentation that I did on Saturday. So I teach 2 online history classes. One on Saturday and one on Sunday. On Saturday, the class that I teach, normally 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is called Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. And this is normally a 10-week online class. We deal with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. We can't start studying our history in slavery. Even when we study the transatlantic slave trade, which is important to study, we can't start in 1619 or in the 1440s with the Portuguese, when the Portuguese get involved in the transatlantic slave trade. We have to understand the history chronologically and deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors, who entered into the Iberian Peninsula, today known as Spain and Portugal, from North Africa in 711 AD. When we discuss the transatlantic slave trade, we have to first understand that African people are the original people of North, Central, and South America and have been in the land we call the United States at least 51,700 years. Now, the second class I teach is on Sundays, normally 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called From the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968. Now, these classes are normally $130. They're on sale right now, $60. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded, so you can go back and watch it anytime. So a year from now, 2 years from now, you can go back and watch the entire class. With both of these classes, I would say the content is PG-13, so you can use this with your children as well if you want to. Also, you can advertise with the African History Network. We have 3 new advertising packages. Our current promotion is buy 1 month to get 1 month free. We have 1 million followers at our Facebook fan page, the African History Network. And with our platinum package, we'll take out ads on our Facebook fan page for you as well to help maximize your advertising campaign. And we take your 30-second to 60-second commercial, we put into the rebroadcast of our shows, and also into the audio podcast of our shows as well. We only have 20 advertising slots because we have a finite amount of advertising space. Email us at AHNshow@TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AHNshow@TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com, or call us 313-462-0003. All right, right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda